AHORA. Greetings, everybody. Change the banner. Straighten up. We'll be starting in about 10 minutes. Everybody comes at the last minute. Okay, Manuel, you're in. Marvin, you're in. Manuel, you should be in.
Hey, John, how are you?
Hey, Emmanuel, how are you?
Oh, good, oh, good.
You're just starting your day, right?
No, it's 4 in the morning here in Moscow.
Yeah, well, that's almost on time for a neurosurgeon.
Exactly.
I got used to that once you start working in medicine and in surgery, especially. You just get used to getting up early. Okay, I heard from Ike. Well, I'll let Ike determine. Let's see, you have a presentation, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, you'll be discussing with Ike too. And I'm not sure who wants to go first or not. Let's see what you guys determine. But anyways, I don't know if you've met Marvin. Marvin está
Buenas noches.
Marvin está ex-presidente de Asociación de
Buenas noches.
Neurosurgery. Buenas noches, Marvin.
¿Qué tal?
Bien, bien. Quiero introducir Manuel, uno de los presentadores de República Dominicana, pero está en
Claro,
Rusia.
claro.
¿Tú conoces?
Doctor Manuel Encarnación.
Sí, tú conoces, Manuel.
Hola, Marvin. Hola, qué
Hola,
gusto.
hola, hola.
Un placer.
Un gusto, doctor.
Tu cámara, no sirve, Marvin. Manuel también.
Sí, mi cámara, no sé, estoy hablando con John hace unos días.
Sí, esto pasó antes, sí, yo recuerdo. No, está bien, está bien. Si no puedo, no puedo. Y Marvin, ¿tú no tienes cámara?
No tengo cámara.
Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot. There you go. Hi, you get in there okay?
Hey, John.
Hey, Ike, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good, man. How are you?
You've been busy, huh?
Yeah, I've been, it's been a bit crazy over the last 1 week, but everything is going great. So,
Good.
how are you?
You just got back from China, right?
Yeah, I was in China and then we had an exoscope meeting in Bangkok.
Oh, good. That's right. You met Warlick there, right? She came up to see you.
Yeah. I met Voralax there. So
Oh, good.
we had this exoscope meeting for 3 days. It was fantastic, but I got an indication of what's to come in the future.
Oh, good. I hope we hear about it. Now, excuse me, Manuel, how you guys want to do it? You want to go first, type, or Manuel go first, or how do you want to
Hey,
work?
Manuel.
Professor, how are you?
Absolutely fine, man. How are you? If you want to go first, you can go first, Manuel.
As you wish, Professor, as you wish.
It's absolutely, I mean, I mean, whatever you would like to do. I mean, if you want me to go first, I'll go first. Otherwise, you can go first.
Okay, I can go first if you're okay with that. No
Yes,
problem.
yes,
Okay,
completely.
okay, just a second. I will start. Let's look at here. We had 7 webcasts this weekend.
You're getting busy, John.
7. I start forgetting things. Like what conference it is. Okay. Exoscope robotics, okay. Okay, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta make sure I got it. Yeah, I got it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning. This is Dr. John Bennett broadcasting from Miami Beach, home of Neurosurgical TV. Tonight we have the honor of having Ive Cherry and Manuel Encarnacion, two gentlemen that have been involved with exoscopes, and they're basically going to try to enlighten us tonight on the topic. Okay, Ive, it's all yours.
I can give an introduction and then maybe Manuel can go.
Okay.
Yeah, so the thing is, for the last 50 years or so, microscopes have been one of the major changes of neurosurgery. In fact, I remember when I was talking to Professor Yasagal in the 1970s and the 1980s, people were mostly operating without any microscope, and they were quite happy with it. They were adjusted to it, and in fact, many of them did not want to change. And what microscope brought was illumination, coaxial illumination and magnification, which was amazing, which completely changed the way people look at my neurosurgical anatomy. It became micro neurosurgical anatomy, you see. So after that, the standards and the quality and everything changed, but then the microscopes kept on evolving. So, and right now we have the Kinevos and Leica OH5s, and but then at the end of the day, it's a microscope. It's just optics, some prisms, lenses, and you have an eyepiece. You stuck that, okay. And your assistant is also stuck to that same machine. So ergonomics is not great. Optics is very good, but ergonomics is not so great. And there's no future like fusion of digital images and fusion of navigation, fusion of intraop images, injections. All this is missing. It's because it's an optical image, and digital fusions with an optical image is impractical. So what came as a first was the synaptive 2D exoscope, and before that even the endoscopes came, but the endoscopes were handheld. They were not balanced on anything, so it was not comparable to a microscope. And the microscope microscopic surgeons, they stuck to microscope. But then Synaptive came, then Olympus Orbi was there, Synaptive Modus 5, then the Modus 10, all of them came. Then you had Olympus Orbi, then you have Esculap EOS, all of these came. But then as somebody who had experienced both the microscope and the exoscope, I started the shift from microscope to exoscope slowly. I had operated 20 years with microscope, and then I realized that the exoscope was the future because number one, the magnification was amazing. Yeah, other than the optical magnification, with a good camera, you could have digital magnification as well. And then you had 3D and stereo depth, fantastic 3D and stereo depth. And then you had matchless ergonomics, which means you could just sit down, and then with a foot switch, you could control the exoscope where it will go. And then, you and your assistant can sit down and operate while the exoscope moves around. So, and plus it's the beginning of a lot of new things. We're thinking about digital injection of navigated images, even having a complete neurosurgical atlas built into the exoscope with the AI, so that you touch something, the exoscope is going to tell you what it is. Imagine. So this is like, I could have John to operate. John touches something, the exoscope says, this is the tumor, this is the sixth now, this is the carotid, and so on, you know. So it's going to be much more helpful. The learning curves are going to get lesser and lesser. And so this is what you're looking at, you know. So Manuel was with me for some time, and then he was showing me the probability of 2D exoscopes, and I really am looking forward to hear from him what he's done till now. So I'd first ask Manuel to go, and then I'm going to show you some videos of the exoscope.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Voy a compartir mi pantalla. Voy a ok, me confirman por favor si todos pueden ver mi pantalla. ¿Todos ven mi pantalla, sí?
Sí, no completa.
Yes, ok. So,
No,
Muy-
ok, sí, sí, perfecto.
Porque cuando yo estoy hablando de algo y te pone el video, o sea, está haciendo todo mal.
exacto, no lo hagas mal, no lo hagas mal. Sí, aquí les estoy mostrando aquí arriba les dejo mis redes sociales. Para cualquier pregunta, si no nos da el tiempo por cualquier razón, lo pueden ver acá. Bien. Y primero, no hay un conflicto de interés. Voy a mencionar quizás algunas compañías, algunos nombres, pero las menciono debido a que tengo experiencia usándolas, me dan buen resultado, no porque me tenga algún tipo de remuneración. Lo segundo, esto no es un asesino de microscopios. Entonces, no crean que esto significa que ya, no vamos a usar más microscopios nunca más. Porque todos los caminos llegan a Roma. Una vía, la otra vía. Lo importante es el desenlace, que es el buen resultado del paciente. Aquí ustedes pueden ver una imagen de muchos de los países donde hay una falta de material microquirúrgico, equipamiento microquirúrgico para neurocirugía. Y algunos de los estudios de lo que parte de lo que motivaron al desarrollo de tecnología bajo costo a fin de ayudar a los países en desarrollo. Esta es una foto que siempre la menciono, en el cual ustedes pueden ver a un neurocirujano y su asistente con un foco. Estoy hablando de un foco, un foco normal de reparaciones, de esos que cuestan ¿cuánto? $4 o $5. Esta es la realidad en muchos países del mundo. Y la pregunta que una vez me hicieron fue, ¿y para qué tú necesitas un exoscopio si con $15,000 tú puedes conseguir un microscopio de segunda mano? Yo he visto esos microscopios de segunda mano y parece que estuvieron en una guerra. Y la respuesta es entonces, ¿tienen todos los países alrededor del mundo, todos los departamentos de neurocirugía alrededor del mundo, esos $15,000 para gastar? Bien, hay muchos tipos de exoscopio en el mercado. Muchos. Ahora bien, perfecto, precioso. Equipo, tecnología de punta. Pero entonces tenemos ese muro que afrontar, que es el precio. Tienen todos los países encima de $250,000 para gastar. Ahí es que viene la pregunta. No en todos los lugares hay esa cantidad de dinero para gastar en esos pies. Entonces, este es el esoscopio que hemos desarrollado. Este fue el primer modelo. Este fue el primer modelo. Ahora mismo estamos ya trabajando con un modelo ya de mejor calidad y más agradable a la vista. Esas son las características técnicas de nuestra cámara. No esperen que esta es la cámara de James Webb del telescopio. No esperen que vamos a ver una resolución 12K, 8K. Eh, a través del tiempo que hemos mejorado, ya tenemos una cámara 4K. Aquí podemos ver la realización de una cirugía de columna usando nuestro esoscopio. Ahora bien, como le dije, todos los caminos llegan a Roma. Al principio utilizamos fue un brazo de micrófono para adaptarlo a la mesa. Y pregunta, ¿es difícil instalar el esoscopio? No. Utilizamos al principio dos modelos, un modelo Wi-Fi y un modelo con conexión HDMI. Y el tiempo de instalación del esoscopio fue de unos 5 minutos y de 1 minuto para el modelo Wi-Fi. Ojo, que toda esta parte se puede esterilizar, todo el equipo se puede esterilizar con gas. Una vez que tenemos todo el equipo esterilizado, solamente montarlos. Esto fue, o vuelvo y lo repito, estos fueron los primeros modelos. Estos fueron los primeros modelos. Los montábamos en un pie de suero para ganar altura, pero a través del tiempo ya lo hemos hecho mucho mejor. Ese es el modelo Wi-Fi. Y la pregunta es, ¿y cuánto puede costar ese tipo de tecnología? Si ya vimos anteriormente lo que cuesta una ya de una compañía consagrada. La idea es que haya esoscopio para todos y en todos los lugares a un precio que sea mm, permitido para todas las instituciones. La siguiente pregunta, ¿y dónde se puede usar el esoscopio? Bueno, en todo tipo de cirugía y neurocirugía, neurotraumatología, cirugía espinal, neurocirugía vascular, neurooncología, en todo. Esa fue una pregunta por $1.000.000, imaginario, imaginario. Una vez nos preguntaron, ¿y seguro que estamos hablando de lo mismo? Bueno, porque un esoscopio cuesta $350.000. Esa pregunta nos llenó de orgullo, porque aquí veíamos que incluso cuando enviamos a una revista a fin de publicar uno de nuestros artículos, no creían que estábamos hablando de un esoscopio, les resultaba extraño por el precio que decíamos que nos llevaba a construir este tipo de equipo. Nuevamente aquí le dejo, aquí van a ver más imágenes de todo lo que hemos hecho, algunos de nuestros artículos también. Sí, la pregunta era esta. Entonces, let's get ready to rumble. Así ya no tenemos que seguir teorizando de nuestro background. Aquí lo vemos una cirugía de Will, si ustedes pueden ver. Nuestro primer problema fue la iluminación, la luz. Este fue nuestro primer problema al inicio del desarrollo de este tipo de tecnología. Aquí lo podemos ver nuevamente. Miren el saco dural, como se ve, ya estamos manejando el tema de la luz. Fíjense la distancia de trabajo, lo amplia que puede ser. Incluso en este caso, el jefe del servicio de cirugía de columna está guiando la cirugía desde fuera, guiando a los demás médicos, que para fines didácticos da muy buenos resultados. Este es un caso de una cirugía ACDF. Ustedes pueden ver cómo se ve. Esto fue con un esoscopio Wi-Fi. Miren la calidad de imagen. Este es otro caso de un ACDF. Ustedes pueden ver lo cómodo que es para trabajar. El mayor problema al principio fue la iluminación, pero ya con el tiempo, con la práctica, ya ese tipo de peripecias se van socavando. Y la pregunta, bueno, muchos no están acostumbrados al uso del esoscopio, pero es una cuestión ya de curva de aprendizaje que en uno, dos, bueno, dos, tres casos ya se acorta. Ya luego de la disección del ligamento longitudinal posterior, la dura madre en el fondo, aquí lo pueden ver, remoción completa del ligamento y la dura madre en el fondo. Que fíjense ya para este tipo de cirugía, que en muchos lugares lo que se utiliza es una lupa, da un excelente resultado. Para cirugía oncológica espinal también nuevamente, ustedes pueden ver acá, un ependimo cervical. También lo podemos utilizar en neurotraumatología, ya para cuando, por ejemplo, si queremos realizar una cisternostomía o queremos involucrar al resto del equipo en la cirugía de trauma y no queremos, y queremos despejar el área alrededor nuestro, ya los demás pueden observar la cirugía desde lejos. Fíjense que este fue el esoscopio Wi-Fi y utilizamos una tableta como pantalla adicional. Algunos de los artículos que hemos realizado con este tipo de tecnología, la introducción del esoscopio, el esoscopio ya en cirugía espinal, también en caso de neurocisticercosis, caso de aneurismas, por ejemplo. Ahora bien, los lugares donde hay limitaciones, que no hay microscopio, quizá vuelvo y repito, no estamos hablando del Jane Webb, pero pueden ver la calidad de la imagen. No, creemos que esto puede cambiar el juego en varios lugares. Perdón, la imagen. Ups, perdón, esto es en vivo, ¿eh? Esto es en vivo. John, perdonen, déjenme recolocar mi diapositiva nuevamente, perdón.
¿Quieres seguir o qué quieres hacer?
Sí. Disculpen.
Ok,
Comparto mi pantalla nuevamente, yo.
ok. Tú necesitas compartir, yo no puedo compartir su...
Sí, ya, ya ve mi pantalla, ¿no?
Sí,
Ok, perfecto. Ok, disculpen. Bien, entonces, nuevamente, más casos, incluso cirugía de nervio periférico. Muchos usan las lupas para la cirugía de nervios periféricos, pero por cuestión de comodidad, cuando estamos trabajando con el grafo nervioso y utilizamos un hilo 9-0, o incluso muchos pueden utilizar 10-0 para el grafo, depende del fascículo, resulta súper cómodo, mucho más cómodo que utilizar las lupas. Le enseñé ya parte final, discúlpenme. Y aquí vemos ya el inicio de la cirugía. En los fascículos Es, nuestro compañero Peralta, utilizando el esoscopio dominicana. Los pros y los contras de el uso del esoscopio. Bueno, esto no es una panacea, y como todo tiene su pro y tiene sus contras. Las ventajas es la ergonomía, tanto para el cirujano como para el equipo quirúrgico, debido a que no tenemos que adaptarnos a adaptar nuestra postura al equipo, sino adaptamos el equipo a nosotros, puesto que con el microscopio tenemos que algunas veces optar por posiciones que no son muy anatómicas, no son posiciones muy cómodas. El primer asistente se encuentra envuelto en toda la cirugía, significa que tanto como la enfermera, todo el equipo, se encuentra mucho más cómodo observando. También para fines educacionales resulta mucho mejor, mucho más cómodo. La definición es 4K, es una muy buena definición. El área de distancia, la distancia de trabajo es de 70 a 80 centímetros. Significa que al momento de que pasamos los instrumentos, muchas veces se golpea accidentalmente el microscopio mientras se mueven los instrumentos de un cirujano al asistente, debido a que el área de trabajo pues unos 40 centímetros por lo general en muchos microscopios. Las limitaciones, la represión del exoscopio, pero esto va a depender del brazo que utilicemos. Estos fueron de los problemas iniciales. Ya actualmente donde hemos ya desarrollado más el exoscopio, ya no tenemos ese tipo de problema. La fuente de luz, que utilizamos una luz externa, esto también eso nos ha causado algunos inconvenientes. La falta de percepción, puesto que estos exoscopios no son 3D. Esto sí es una gran diferencia con otros tipos de exoscopios. Las conclusiones nuestras. Es fácil de mover de un lugar a otro, incluso puede, que es como yo lo he hecho en su maleta su equipaje de cabina, cuando viajan de un país a otro, pueden poner hasta 2 o 3 esoscopios, que es como yo lo he hecho cuando me ha tocado viajar a África, por ejemplo. No pesa. Se puede esterilizar con gas, lo que significa que todo el equipo, ya luego de esterilizado, puede ser utilizado fácilmente. La cámara, el lente, el brazo, los cables, todo. Y sin poner en riesgo la salud del paciente. La curva de aprendizaje en mano-ojo, luego de 3 cirugías, ya se cruza. Le dejo aquí esta foto que siempre me gusta, esta frase siempre me gusta ponerla. Dice, un día, cuando no estemos, vamos a hacer lo que hemos hecho y en la manera en que hemos cambiado la vida de otros. Muchas gracias.
Okay, muy bien, Manuel. Are you there, Ipe? Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, I'm very much there. I was just watching what Manuel was doing.
Okay.
So shall I start talking?
Whatever you want.
Yeah, so I remember Manuel being in my unit, and we were talking about exoscopes, and Manuel, his ideas of this exoscope. I am very proud of what he's done with in the past 1 year or 2 years that he's been away, and I've seen the cases, the aneurysms, cystinostomies being done with this exoscope. But my journey has been a bit different from Manuel. So he told it is not a microscope killer. I think it is a microscope killer. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, nobody would be thinking about microscopes anymore, because I myself have a Kinevo And we, in the lab, we have 6 microscopes, including NC Foods and the Leica OH series. And we don't, I don't now use the microscope for anything, in spite of having a Kinemo. So I would say it is a microscope killer, because the way that the kind of comfort, the kind of ergonomics that I have, my team has, and the way that my fellows see everything in 3D with clear views and stereo depth, it's different. So I would like to say that it's going to replace the microscope. Now, let me show you some of the videos that we have so that I can further let you know that this is what you should be looking towards to. Now, the cost is another factor. So I've been working with exoscopes. In fact, I've been working with the EOS Escolab for quite a long time. But what I realized is it's $1 million. As he said, it's the cheapest other exoscopes would be $350,000. I mean, I'm not sure you could get EOS with that, maybe Vitom with that, but Vitom is not really an exoscope. You know, it doesn't have a robotic or a good carrier. So even that is $350,000. So something better would be $1 million. So what are we going to do about it? So I've already started talking to companies in India and China. And I am thinking we may be able to get an exoscope. You know, you cannot be, I mean, as the reviewer who said that to Manuel, I would partly agree with him, because I've been trying to do it very, very cheap. In fact, we're trying to get an ENT or an ophthalm exoscope with not many functions, HD camera, not 4K 3D. HD 3D camera for maybe under $30,000. Okay, but an exoscope has to be 3D. You can work with 2D, but then that is not an advantage of a microscope, because a microscope, you see everything in 3D, and then when you are going back to 2D, it's a disadvantage. So you're just trying to cut costs, you're trying to compromise. I mean, I could understand that what Manuel is doing. I mean, he is, you know, starting a revolution, as the last picture showed. You water a plant and the plant becomes bigger and bigger. But then what I am thinking in lines of is, I'm thinking of a huge tree that can, you know, that can come in. So what I am looking at is 3D image, you know, no disadvantage over the microscope at the moment. And we could get an HD 3D image and not so maneuverable arm at around 30,000. But to get an exoscope, a 3D 4K image and a robotic arm, way better than the microscope. Even with the local companies, it's going to cost us anywhere near $200,000. And I'm thinking it's not a bad investment for people, because I'm going to show you what we can do with that. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen,
Yes.
everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's first see an echo mannerism. So this is a fenestrated ACOM, and we're going to see how we've done this aneurysm. So it's a 1.61 millimeter neck. So you will see how big is that now. You see that that's the optic nerve. That's a magnification which is possible with the microscope. Okay. But as I go higher and higher, the optical zoom is only till 10, but the digital zoom, can you see these are the vessels? These are micrometers. And this is my entire field. You see? No microscope at present. You know, I have tweaked my Pentiro to get a zoom of around 40 in Biratnagar. Manuel knows about that. And then when I got my Kinevo, I did the same thing. The zoom was around 40, but we're talking about zooms of 60 and 70 here without any loss of stereo depth. They claim 100. And now with the Indian company that I'm seeing here, they claim a zoom of 120, which is crazy. And their optical quality is also great, while the prices are not so high. So you have the choices, but the exoscope, this is done with an EOS, and you can see that's a 3.8 millimeter vessel. And you see how big is that? And this is a ruptured aneurysm. So you can understand how clean and and how clearly are you seeing everything. So once you dissect, you see that A1 segment there. You see the fenestration. You see the fenestrated segment there. I wish I could show it to you in 3D, because at the moment on a 2D video, you wouldn't really appreciate the difference between a 2D exoscope versus a 3D exoscope. But then on a 3D screen, when you start seeing the depth, you'd understand that it is truly, it's going to, Manuel's work and our work is going to culminate in the fact that finally there will be no more microscopes. They will be only historical. Of course, that was a good time to have the microscope. I mean, it changed the way neurosurgical anatomy and neurosurgery is perceived. But then, we say in Hindi, alvida, bye. So this is a new era. So you can see the 1.61 millimeter neck there, and you see how big it is. It's on a big screen. It's massive. And now the clip is going to come in. You can see even the smallest details. And as young neurosurgeons, this is what you should look at. This is what you should be. This kind of surgery is what I would want all of you to do. And people like Manuel, who work very hard in their dissections, and I remember him being here, and all the time he was into anatomy, and I'm sure he will be an excellent surgeon in the future. So, I mean, this is what you should look at. This is your benchmark. Okay, this should be your benchmark. And you see that this is how you can clip. Another, when we started off, this was, way before in 2016 and 2017, this was an exoscope that I was planning. This was on a robotic arm. This is holding an endoscope and a microscope camera. I mean, sorry, a webcam, just a webcam. And this exoscope could focus on a mark and make it into the center of the field. And we were doing it with Eduardo in Alicante. So that's a webcam and that's the endoscope. And it could look wherever, if you are looking somewhere, the endoscope and the webcam could look the same place. We did it. All this was done at a budget of less than $15,000. Of course, they had two refurbished robotic arms, and we could do it in less than $15,000. So I am sure with the optics and the screen is what takes money. That's what I understand. It's not even the robot. It's the screen, the 3D 4K screen is around $10,000, 32-inch screen. That's the thing, you know. It's completely different from that. That's what is going to cost you money. The optics is what's going to cost you money. The robot, no. The robot is around. You can get many robotic arms. A universal robotic arm, you can get it for about $10,000 again. So even without a robotic arm, you know, your 3D 4K camera and your screens, it's going to cost you no less than 20,000. And if you have a carrier which is not a robot, maybe another 10,000 for fine tuning, and then maybe the company may be able to sell it at 30,000. This is what I'm looking at. And let me show you another surgery just to show you how things have changed. This is a cavernous sinus meningioma. And what I wanted to show is with this kind of a magnification, things have changed. So earlier people used to say that if you have a cavernous sinus meningioma, it's kind of difficult to go in and things like that. So you can see how this cavernous sinus meningioma is. It's invading, it's going, it's completely around the carotid. And see what we're doing. We're doing the same technique. It's a modified Doling. We published on it for the first time with the orbitomeningeal band as a route to transcavernous. And you can see after I take out the temporal lobe away, you can see the cavernous sinus being exposed. And now the cavernous sinus is exposed here with the cranial nerves. And what is superficial, the tuber superficial to the cavernous sinus, between the cavernous sinus and the temporal lobe, I'm dissecting away. You can see the cranial nerves here now. This is all at high zoom, very high zoom. And when you're operating at such high zoom, so you can see the clinoid there, that's a third nerve. And you're drilling the clinoid away with a 0.75 millimeter diamond drill at high zoom. Medtronic had the vision to get this 0.75 millimeter drills. So they were telling nobody was using them, but you know, with the current microscope scenario, I'm sure nobody would need to use them because 0.75 is like a needle. So once you do that clinoid drilling, so you can see the third nerve. The fourth nerve is not exactly, this is a band here. Then you have the fifth nerve, you have the fifth nerve here. You could go in between these nerves in high magnification. So you're going between the fourth and the V1, opening up that space. How many times have you seen the Parkinson's triangle at this zoom? I'm sure that's a sixth nerve. And you're going to take off the tumor around the carotid. You must be very careful because the meningohypophyseal trunk from the carotid takes off from here. You must be careful because also the infralateral trunk over the sixth nerve also goes across you. So you have to be a bit careful taking out tumor here. So now the fourth nerve, the V1, the V2, the clinoid around the optic nerve is drilled out. So the whole tumor is out. So I'll show you one more case where petroclival, solid cystic petroclival. So you can see the kind of magnification here again. Now we have a lab and we're getting the exoscope, the Indian company exoscope is going to come. The Escolab is also going to come. So what I would like you to do is you guys should come from January onwards, next January onwards. Please come to the center and then stay with us, okay? Learn with us anatomy at very high magnifications and in 3D with the exoscope. And, you know, now I'm drilling the cavase. that's a GSPN. I'm using the bone knife to take the Kawase triangle off and then going very minimally. It's a 2 centimeter incision. Huh? So very small incision and very tailored approach. That's the posterior fossa I'm exposing. So that's a tailored approach. That's a superior petrosal sinus. I have coagulated and taking off the superior petrosal sinus and cutting the tent now. Cutting the Meckel's cave. This was a meningioma. So it was going into the Meckel's cave. So you see the tumor, even the tumor surface, the vessels on the tumor surface, how big you can see them. Now cutting the tent, going down on zoom, this is the edge of the tent. And the edge of the tent, you'll see the midbrain, and then below that, you'll see the pons. So that's a tumor. Oh, I would like to show you, that's the fourth now. The edge of the tent, you'll see the fourth now. There's the fourth now there. And that's the edge of the tent. Once it's cut, then you will see the tumor. So the tent is cut now, the petroclival junction between the 7th nerve and the 5th nerve. So the 7th nerve is here. You can see how big it is seen, you know. So this window is between the 7th nerve and the 5th nerve. The 5th nerve is here. The 7th nerve is here. The cyst is evacuated once the cyst is evacuated. So you are going to go in, and I use the shaving technique. I don't push from vessels. So you can see the 7th nerve and the 5th nerve clear. That's a 5th nerve. That's a 7th nerve. Okay, that's a 7th nerve. That's a 5th nerve. As between these windows, you're shaving off the tumor. You show this kind of clear anatomy. It's very difficult to see on a microscope. And more than that, we have combined a robotic endoscopic holder with the exoscope. It's way better ergonomics. So with that, I can see what the exoscope, see how the exoscope swivels. And, you know, now that's the endoscope. So the endoscope, I can see the basilar artery there. Okay. Now the exoscope cannot show it. So I know that the basilar artery is at my 4 o'clock. So now I've exposed with the exoscope, I've exposed the basilar artery. You see, that's a basilar perforator. Okay. That's a basilar artery, this one, and that's a perforator. So I'm able to shave this tumor right away from the basilar. So this is the kind of view that you will get. Okay, it's completely different. I mean, John has been following us for many years, and he's seen our microscopic surgery, but this is a different world. Okay, for the young neurosurgeons, guys, don't waste your time with the microscope if you have a choice. So get into the scene with training with the exoscope. I mean, it's a different perspective, but get trained. And I will be proud that this is my second change, big change. First change was cystonostomy. Now the world is really warming up to the idea, and people like Manuel and many all over the world have chosen cystonostomy over classical decompressive. And now I think this is my second revolution, and I hope people will take it up, and youngsters like you will lead the world on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ike. You know, Ike, I'm not a neurosurgeon, but for me, it sounds exciting, and you find credence in the technology. So I take your word for it because you're a neurosurgeon. But do you find, in general, the general neurosurgical public, are they accepting of this huge change in the OR? Everyone's accepting that?
No. That's because it's see, for me, I am somebody who's very open to new ideas. So I had to go to the lab for 1 month to make the change, to understand how the exoscope works. It's like you're driving a car and suddenly you are, let's say you're driving a sedan and then you get an off-road monster. And you don't understand what is a four-wheel drive, what's a differential lock, or you don't understand that. And then you have to learn that, you know. So unless you learn that, that off-road monster is of really no use to you. So if somebody doesn't want to learn and, you know, doesn't want to change, and they're comfortable, of course, many surgeons are comfortable with the microscope. I mean, it's like, I remember Yasagil told a very famous vascular surgeon, why don't you use the microscope? He said, I'm comfortable with my bare eyes. So, so it's a different system, and you at your stage of life and you're senior, you've been operating for about 20, 25 years with the microscope. And, you know, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So most of the guys are old dogs. I mean, with due respect, they're pretty good at what they are doing, but they would not want to go to the lab for 1 month and sit down and work. So that's the thing. So a lot of guys may not be ready to change. And what I am telling the young neurosurgeons is that for them, it's easy because they've not been in the comfort zone with microscopes. So they'd rather get into the exoscope bandwagon. And I think it's a future because I got both. So I got the Kinevo, which is the best microscope in the world right now. I mean, with all due respect to other microscopes, when we brought the Kinevo, there was nothing to match it. But today, the exoscope, you know, it's like a heavyweight versus a flyweight. The exoscope is definitely a heavyweight, and it's just getting bigger and better. So the only thing is the cost, and I'm sure with work from Manuel and other people and myself, I'm trying to get this Indian company. There's this company called Sanma. You should check them out. You should, when you come to India, anybody comes to India, you should check them out. It's a fantastic exoscope. Okay, it's a fantastic exoscope, and I have went ahead and I've told them that I'm ready to be collaborating with them because it's the cost. I mean, I would have been very happy with AOS because AOS is state of the art. But why I am going and joining up with these Indian companies because I know that 5/6 of the world has a problem, just like Manuel said, and they cannot buy $1 million and $2 million scopes. It's difficult. But my idea is not to compromise. I want it better than any other scope. This Indian company, they are capable. The Chinese company that we are talking to is also capable. The Sanma, they've already brought out a 3D exoscope, which is very, very good. Some more fine tuning, and it'll be good enough to be sold. And their costs cannot be brought down below 200,000. So I am trying to get a basic endoscope, which is like HD and 3D, HD 3D. So it may be $30,000 without a robotic hand. So I'm trying for this. Let us see what happens.
Well, it's encouraging. I was talking to Manuel, and he said he went to Africa and he got very positive reports from the new residents. And I hope to get them online with you and maybe others to discuss it. And I hope we can follow other parts of the world with doctors that are using it in the developing countries, and we kind of talk to them and ask about their experiences. So we'll go wherever you guys want to go. We'll go wherever you guys want to go.
Thank you, John. We are open to the young neurosurgeons who would like to come and learn what is an exoscope, it's like learning to fly. So they would like to come and first understand what's the exoscope and what's the kind of anatomy and what's the kind of surgery that you can do with the exoscope. You guys are very welcome. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thanks, Hype. And your day's just starting here, right?
Yeah. I'm off to the hospital job. So okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Manuel.
Have a good day.
Yeah. And is Manuel around?
Thank you so much, Professor. Yeah. I am here.
Sure, Manuel. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
To you, Professor.
Yeah. See you then, guys. See you around.
Okay. Very good, Hype.
Yeah. Okay. Take care, Professor. Take care.
Okay, Manuel, any words?
Bueno, sí, ya así como pueden ver, lo importante es el beneficio del paciente. el paciente se beneficie. Y vamos a ver lo que trae el futuro con este tipo de tecnología, que son muy prometedoras, un resultado objetivo que todos pueden palpar. Y nada, estamos a las órdenes. Cualquier pregunta, ahí ya dejé mi contacto para cualquier información. Yo les proveo cualquier información que necesiten para el isoscopio y lo demás.
Sí, yo tengo mucho interés en el neurosurgeon del Congo para ver.
Yeah, yeah. I
Good.
sent to you. You have the contacts, and see if we can prepare a Gran
Yeah.
round.
Yeah,
Congolese
yeah,
Gran round. Yeah,
yeah.
first.
I write to him. I have his.
Yeah.
I have his WhatsApp, so we'll arrange that. We'll arrange, and you can arrange that with any neurosurgeon that can tell us about the exoscope. Can tell us. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
It sounds like to me it's a great product that's going to be around whether you like it or not. So,
That's true. That's true.
and so if we can get some people that use it, say, I imagine the African guys, did they say like, wow, were they really amazed, or were they just kind of go, oh yeah, it is different?
No, they really like it. They really like it. You know, for the affordable capacity of the isoscope.
Oh, so they're asking
and the
about the price,
possibility.
of course, right? They were
Yeah,
asking about price.
of course.
And they're excited
Because,
when they heard it's within the range of possibility.
yes, exactly, and the easy to and how easy is to move and carry, because that's another point. Because even if one doctor can have one, it means he can transport it for different institutions, for example. Because you know the logistic of move some kind of equipment is very hard.
Okay, mira, Marvin, tiene preguntas. Marvin está allá. Marvin, Berman
Sí,
Salgado.
sí,
¿Tiene
aquí
preguntas o
estamos.
comentario para Manuel?
No, la tecnología, pues, con el exoscopio ha demostrado tener una gran utilidad en neurocirugía, en las técnicas microquirúrgicas. Y creo que esa gran ayuda, lo que los dos profesores dijeron, ¿verdad? Yo los felicito por las conferencias excelentes que dictaron, y yo creo que es una tecnología, como ellos dicen, asequible para los países menos desarrollados.
Sí, a mí parece que va a ganar esta tecnología. Es inevitable. So, okay, muy bien. Yo estoy educando en esta tecnología muy interesante. Y muchas gracias a todos
Muchas
para venir.
gracias.
Marvin, gracias para venir.
Sí, claro.
Manuel, como vamos a seguir hablando, Manuel.
Sí, claro.
Para tener más, cuando quieras,
Gracias, profesor Light.
dígame, yo voy en contacto con el neurosurgeon en el Congo. Y yo te aviso, ¿ok? Buenas noches.
Perfecto, John, perfecto. Bueno,
Buenas noches.
está bien. Yo me voy a retirar, que aquí ya son las 5 de la mañana, hoy sábado.
Ok, buenas noches.
Y bueno,
Buenas
un
noches.
fuerte abrazo a todos.